at the Black Emperor's Court. Written and read by Michael Vresitulis. We were all invited to the Feast of Expiring Lights. All of us had come. Who would miss such an event? Who would dare reject an invitation from the Black Emperor himself? Ah, the feast was magnificent. In that palace illuminated by stars, that palace higher than the peak of Kadath, that palace made of gold and granite and dream, in that palace we had come to rejoice in a sea of unlimited pleasures. Intoxicated by the ebony wines of Mother Nox, we danced in delirious delight. So close to the stars, what morality could possibly stop us? With our blasphemous glee, we mocked everything that is good, until Death, the ultimate queen herself, was disgusted. And we would not repent, not even for the most horrible of sins. The masked crowd of guests consisted of creatures from various worlds. Given the occasion, they had all acquired humanoid form with the power of dream. Only their masks hinted to the alien horror they truly bore. They were all monsters of the ugliest kind. They did not know it, but I could see them. Of course, they could also have been angelic beings of the greatest beauty. But what difference is there really? Oh, I admired them all, beautifully ugly, horribly beautiful, all of them unique and uniquely majestical. For no reason would they remove their masks. Anonymity is nearly sacred at the court of the Black Emperor, and revealing one's true identity at so great a feast is blasphemous. No one would dare defy the law of the crowd at a place touched by blacknesses where every eye melts into a single mass. We were all one great orgasmically vibrating eye. There was no difference between light and darkness, matter and energy. There were no such foolish things as good and evil. Only pleasure, the holiest of virtues. The peak of this hedonistic feast was the death of lights. Exactly at midnight, a chilling wind blew through the palace, silencing the voices of 1,000,000 candles, and thus causing absolute tenebration. Impenetrable, light-devouring black masses covered us like veils of Mother Night. At the sight of this darkness came, as if from the depths of the great abyss, a sound, a grotesque choir of hundreds of orgasmically screaming voices. And the orgy began. I could not see, but I could feel. I could feel naked flesh and blood and sweat and saliva caress my alabaster skin. It was horribly hideous and undescribably beautiful at the same time. The vibrations of the crowd disgusted me, and yet filled me with a desire for the most unspeakable of pleasures. And I gave in to all the temptations I was offered. Morality had never been leading my actions, but now it was as if the very word were utterly unknown to me. Yet alongside liberation came arrogance. Who were they to claim me as their own? Me, the highest, the greatest self, me in my ipsissimality? And I decided not to be one with them. No, they were all there for me, to satisfy me, only me. My I was one beyond theirs, and I stood above them, a king on the throne of uniqueness. But my wonderful arrogance would not last. Following my glorious thoughts, a single candle alit, casting the deepest shadow my eyes had ever beholden. It was a silhouette of majestic blackness, a true manifestation of darkness, and it crawled gigantically upon the palace walls as if it were the very child of Nox and Erebus. And the figure of which the shadow was an eidolon was even more terrifying. It was him, the Black Emperor, dressed in a cloak of royal black and alien texture, his face paler than the skin of the ultimate queen, his eyes black and hollow, but bearing the light of dying stars, upon his head the bizarre crown of dream, and bound to it the golden halo with a circular inscription, Ego, 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 ego. I hid my face in shame, for only then had I realized my blasphemy. He was the true I, only he. All of us were nothing more than parts of the vibrating mass. How could I have dared to oppose his sacred laws? I knew then that I was nothing and he was everything. I knew then that our existence served only his delight. I knew then I knew nothing, and I surrendered myself to the arms of blind delight.